There's a reason stuntmen are well paid in Hollywood. If an action sequence goes wrong, an injured star can shut down production. But when a minor stunt went really bad, actor Erik Estrada ended up on this list with celebrity near-death experience number 19.
Of course they wouldn't allow us to do our own stunts.
It was August 6, 1979. The cast and crew of CHiPs were starting their third season. 30-year-old Erik Estrada played California Highway Patrolman Frank Poncherello.
Erik Estrada was one of the biggest heartthrobs in the 70s.
Filming was underway in Pacoima, California for the season's premiere episode. Fans of the show gathered along the street as Erik shot a routine motorcycle scene.
But Erik enjoyed that, you know, coming in, and he had some slick moves, you know. I mean, he had the Elvis moves on the motorcycle.
For one particular sequence, Estrada practiced 3 times before the cameras rolled. The director yelled action, and the filming began. Suddenly, chaos.
Erik came in hot, fast, and slammed on the brakes, and he did a beautiful brake slide. Unfortunately, he let off the brake, and it high-sided, and when it did, it threw him into the car, and the motorcycle followed him and crushed him between the car and the motorcycle.
One of the things that we're concerned about primarily is the weight of the bike keeping that person from being able to adequately breathe. That alone could kill somebody.
Larry ran straight to Erik because he was the closest one to it, since they were both riding right into camera.
Larry, on his knees at Erik's side, holding his hand and saying to him, "You can make it."
The crew moved the motorcycle. Instinctively, Erik tried to get up, but he couldn't stand.
His eyes had that death look in that I used to see in Vietnam, and I sensed at that moment that, you know, he wasn't going to live.
Erik appeared to be in shock, but was able to speak. He complained of chest pains.
His ribs are broken and his lungs are collapsed, and sure, he couldn't breathe, you know. And so, you know, I talked him through it, and then went in the ambulance and then went to the hospital with him.
Estrada was flown 19 miles by helicopter to UCLA Medical Center. Doctors worked on the actor for 6 hours in the ER before moving him to intensive care.
I broke my wrist, I punctured both lungs and collapsed them and cracked 12 ribs. I got this big scar under here because of it.
When you have a combination of broken ribs, deflated lungs, and other associated bodily injuries, many things can happen. There can be internal hemorrhaging, which can be life-threatening in itself.
And the priest came, and then the priest came over him and gave him last rites. And that was a scary situation, not a good deal. And I figured poor Erik had, you know, that was his day.
Doctors eventually stabilized the actor.
The hospital where he was staying was inundated with phone calls, over 600 of them in one day, just to see how Erik was doing.
All the TLC paid off. Just a month after his near-fatal crash, Erik was feeling well enough to appear in public for the first time. He walked the red carpet at the 1979 Emmys. With the help of rewrites and the occasional stand-in, Erik didn't miss a single episode that season.
He's lucky to be alive.
Coming up, America's sweetheart takes a death-defying detour off the runway.
The plane was torn apart, and everybody was fearing for their lives.
An uptown girl tumbles down a mountain. Plus, which popular sitcom cast almost gets canceled? Permanently.
Holly's on the